Welcome aboard, passengers. Mega Sim here for another Train Sim World 2 video. Tomorrow, or shall we say tonight, Train Sim World 2 will be released. Just as a reminder, on console, on PS4 and Xbox, Train Sim World 2 is being released at midnight tonight. And if you're on Steam, on PC, it will be 5 o'clock UTC tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday, at 5 o'clock, 1700 hours UTC time. Okay, so that's the first thing out the way, which is amazing. Can't wait for that. They also mentioned that the file size is around 20. I heard 14 and then I heard 20 gig. So I think the file size is 20 gig for the console. So it may take quite a while for me to download it. But, you know, we'll see how it goes, especially tonight. And as a big reminder, if you are on PS4, buy the game through Train Sim World 2020's in-game store. Because the 15% will only be through the in-game store. So you know when you're on the first page with all the trains at the bottom, all the routes, if you press square, you will then go to the in-game store. That's where the 15% is. If you just go to the PS store, it's only 10%. Also with Xbox, if you are an Xbox user, you will automatically get it in the Xbox store. But if you've bought a physical copy, there is going to be instructions later online and via their phone in the day as well, where they will get you on. So it's a bit more of a jump through the hoops scenario, because the game, Xbox doesn't realise you've actually got the game because it's in disc form, not digital. So that was the questions that we got. So what we want to do is we want to go on to the Q&A recap of last night with the roadmap. So that's what this video is all about, is the roadmap Q&A that we went through yesterday. So last night we saw the Köln Aachen Line, the ICE and the 442, great, on the Xbox One X, so that was cool to see. The DBBR 442 was on 50 frames per second, but the ICE was only on 30 frames per second. It was struggling a little bit on the Xbox One X, so hopefully it's going to be okay on the standard consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One or Xbox One S instead of the X, so not the 4K versions. Hopefully the frame rate's going to be okay. Now, we were trying to ask a lot of questions about the roadmap. Where is this route going? When's this coming out? Etc, etc. Do you know what they said within the first... It was almost like this. Within the first 2 seconds, or say first 8 seconds, they said, the roadmap is there, we cannot answer any questions about the roadmap. That was it. That was the Q&A that they said they were going to have on the roadmap. We cannot answer any questions. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through what I did find out from the Q&A roadmap, because we did find a teeny tiny bit, and we'll just go through again what is coming out very, very shortly. So they did mention a couple of things. So what we'll do is we'll go through the roadmap, not into full, but so what we'll do, the next arrival, which we mentioned yesterday, is the Baby Bullet, the MP15 DC diesel switcher, the East Coastway, the Hauptstrasse Rhine-Ruhr, and the Peninsula Corridor. So we know that those routes and those locos are coming tomorrow or tonight. That's the next arrival on the roadmap. So this roadmap is going to be updated every 2 weeks on a Tuesday. The next one is the upcoming. So I guess the upcoming, if we go back to the top bit, upcoming is when a project reaches the upcoming section it has entered final testing and iteration. Depending on the scale of the project, it may be a varied length. But the upcoming mentions the preserved routes that are going to be coming out next month. So we know they're definitely coming next month. That's the Long Island Railroad with the M3 and the M7, the Ruhr Nord, the DBBR 155 that comes as a loco on that one, and finally the Tees Valley line, which then comes with, as an additional, the Class 31 and the Class 20. Now, if you've already bought these routes and locos, they will automatically be there to download, and it is a second download. It's not the same as the Train Sim 2020 version. You have to download it again because it's the TSW edition, okay? But then we've got the bottom bits. So what we'll do is we'll look at the livery designer additional functionality. So they did mention this in the Q&A. So they said that with the livery designer coming up, they've had a few bits of feedback from people, and they are trying to sort out mirror image so that you can have the same thing on both sides of the train, because at the moment you have to turn the train around using your joystick or your mouse and have to do it again both sides. So they're going to try and bring out mirror image. Also, with the amount of colours, they're going to be, I think they said they were going to bring out the hex code. So effectively that's writing in a code for a particular colour. So if you really are serious about putting a specific colour on, you can do that soon. And also transparency. A lot of people said they're very block colours. Why can't we have it transparent so you can see things behind it? So they're the three things that they mentioned. Now, if you heard anything else, let me know in the comments below and let all the other viewers hear about that as well. Now, finally, as we said yesterday and we're going to mention today, the Isle of Wight Island Line, developed by Rivet Games, is coming out. Now, I believe with upcoming, it could be within a month. So I think we're going to be seeing the Isle of Wight line coming within a month. Now, I'm not promising there. Don't take my word for it. But I think that is in the final stages. So we saw the 2 teaser images a couple of days ago from Rivet Games, which was really nice. We saw the wooden inside, so we knew that it was pretty much going to be the 483. So Rivet Games released this image yesterday at the time of the roadmap being announced. Now, very quickly on the forums and social media, people realised that that image was wrong. It didn't look like the right station. So what was nice was Rivet Games actually said, you know what, our bad. It's not. It's actually a test station. It looks so good that it fell through the cracks and came out as a screenshot for you, but it is wrong. The reason why was because it was pointing in the wrong way in terms of the destination board was going the wrong way, and also there were a couple of things missing from that station. So online, if you go on social media, you will see like pictures of that station going, that's not right, you're not in the right place. So they admitted it. But we are getting the Isle of Wight, and it's in the Network Southeast colours, which to me looks like they're going to be doing a 90s, early 90s route, which is good because at the moment the 483s are in such disrepair. You know, they've literally got 1 or 2 going at the moment, whereas back then it was 6 of them going all the time. So having 2 of them is going to be really, yeah, if there were 2 nowadays, if it was 2020, it would be awful because you would have 1 every hour. It's only 8.5 miles long. We don't know much more about it, but they did mention on the video, the stream last night, that people are kind of umming and ahhing, which we've said as well. 25 quid, would you pay that for an 8.5 mile route? But they kind of said on the thing, they said, well, what if we did, if it's a 50 mile thing for 25 quid, does that mean that if it's 100 miles it should be 50 quid, and if it's 4 times the size, the length, should it be more? So we don't know what Isle of Wight's going to be yet, but I think they should give it a bit of a discount because it's only 8.5 miles long and potentially only 1 vehicle, only 1 train. They may surprise us and come out with something else. You just don't know, but that's what we've got at the moment. Now, that is the upcoming. We're not going to look at in production again unless it comes to upcoming. Well, I'll say we will look at in production and in planning when we get the roadmaps every couple of weeks, just to see what's new on there. I just want to make one slight change to yesterday's video. Maybe a little apology, but a slight correction. Now, yesterday I mentioned that the Southeastern high speed from St Pancras via Ebbsfleet to Faversham, I said about going down to Ashford and Ramsgate. Now, a lot of people did comment and message me saying, no, that's not right. So I did a little bit of digging, and people have said that it's possibly the same route that's on Train Simulator. And unfortunately, the Train Simulator edition goes to Ebbsfleet, then comes off via Rochester to Faversham, which kind of just cuts off that whole Ashford, Ramsgate, Dover, Broadstairs, Margate, all of that stuff, Herne Bay. So I'm annoyed about that because I wish it was that far round, but thinking about it, that's a very long route. So maybe, yeah, I probably was getting too excited there just because when I went on the, because I've only been on the high-speed line once or twice if you think of the return journey. And it literally was St Pancras, Ebbsfleet, Ashford, and then the slow line all the way around to Ramsgate, because I went to Ramsgate for work. And funnily enough, the train back, it was so windy that we were literally crawling to get back to Ashford, crawling because of trees and things like that had fallen. And we stopped for quite a bit, and then we just zoomed from Ashford straight back up to London St Pancras because the track was clear, but just all the other bits on the slow line, it was a bit of a mess. But yeah, that was my story on the Southeastern high speed. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I think it's going to be the shorter version to Faversham, which means why would you have the 375? Because that technically only goes from maybe only from Ebbsfleet or maybe further on in a very short point of Faversham. The 395 does not go on the high-speed route. It is not realistic. Now, scenario planner, yes, you could do that, but the timetable, no, only the 395 Javelin would go from St Pancras to Ebbsfleet via Stratford. So, anyway, that is kind of what we learned from the Q&A roadmap last night. We've got a video coming out at 3 o'clock today, so look forward to that. We've got, hopefully I'm going to be going live tonight. We're going to go for a late one. We're going for a late one because we're sitting up trying to stay awake to wait for the file for the game at midnight. So I may be on at 11 p.m. British Standard Time. So at the moment, that's in about 12 hours. Well, it'll be under that once this video comes out. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Annoying that there was no extra details on the Q&A because that's what I was wanting. I didn't want to see footage of the Schnell Fast Tracker. I wanted to hear what they were saying, and I was kind of not watching much and trying to listen. But yeah, never mind. But yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more videos from Megasim at Megasim UK on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Yeah, we will see you on the next video and also live tonight. And don't forget, it's under 24 hours now. Just over 24 hours for PC users, but we are getting it tonight on PS4 and Xbox. Yes! Train Sim World 2 is coming. Anyway, I'll see you in a bit, guys. Bye-bye.